When I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
About the past and about the future.
Welcome back to Draftvice. That's right. Today is the NFL Draft, and that means today is the day I'm going to release my final mock draft ever for 2021. Well, maybe. There's still several hours before the draft. We could do 10 more of these. But let's get right down to brass tacks. I don't want to keep anybody all too long, right? It ain't going to be like one of those normal Midnight Monday mock drafts where I just stay here the whole night making faces and voices. Anyway, number 1 overall, Trevor Lawrence. Number 2 overall, Zach Wilson. Number 3 overall, Trey Lance. All right, I think this is where I'm going to go with it. The QB coach thing kind of sells it to me. If they're going to keep Jimmy Garoppolo, I know there's a lot of talks about them trading him. He's got a no-trade clause, so he could make it a very hard thing. He might not want to be there anymore, so maybe he's demanding a trade. But I just think it's a better situation for them if they have Jimmy G. They get the rookie to sit behind Jimmy G for a whole year. They learn the offense. They do the Pat Mahomes thing. And then if Jimmy G goes down, then you're stuck having to play your rookie anyway. So I think it works out both ways. I think they keep Jimmy G. 4 overall, Falcons, Kyle Pitts, and I'll be wrong about that in about 15 minutes. 4 overall, Kyle Pitts, Falcons. Where else are we going to go with this? 5, Bengals. It's been screaming Jamar Chase forever. They did not address their wide receiver room in free agency, and they did address at least a little bit of the offensive line. Doesn't mean they won't go offensive line in this draft, but again, there's just a lot of smoke to that fire. Number 6. Now, what do the Dolphins do? No Pitts, no Chase, no coconuts. There's 2 choices on the board. Jalen Waddle, Penny Sewell. They did just get rid of Eric Flowers. I don't think it's a determinative factor of where they go at 6, right? They were already kind of looking to get rid of his contract anyway. They could easily just take another offensive lineman in this draft if they still think Austin Jackson is the truth. There was a report that they're moving Marcus Hunt into guard, so maybe that was a little bit of it. And if that's the case, they do need a tackle. So thus I'm going Penny Sewell, number 6 overall. Could easily be Rashawn Slater. This is a tale of 2 philosophies. One guy's the opt-out. They both opted out. So, I'm going to go with Penny Sewell. Number 7 overall. Okay, so we got Sewell 6, now 7. Lions or not? Yes, this is my first trade-up, everybody, in a night that might be full of trade-ups, as teams might not be entirely sold on the entire draft class. 7 overall, Patriots traded up with the Lions to get Justin Fields. 8 overall, Panthers on the board. I think this is a good spot for a trade-up as well. I did not have it where it broke that way. Instead, the Panthers take Rashawn Slater to be their left tackle of the future to protect Sam Darnold or whoever else is their quarterback going forward. I do think they try to accrue picks to recoup the Sam Darnold trade. I just thought this was such a good value for them. They do need this position. It doesn't make sense to skip on it. 8 overall, especially if you think Sam Darnold can be your quarterback. You trade a second-round pick for him, build around him, give him an offensive line, and then use your second and third-round picks to recoup picks next year. Number 9 overall, supposed to be the Broncos, not the Broncos. It's the Eagles. They take J.C. Horn because they trade up with the Broncos. After that, 10 overall, Dallas Cowboys, they take Patrick Surtain the second. Number 11, Giants take Micah Parsons. It's going to probably be one of 2 players, I'm thinking, either Micah Parsons or Kwity Paye. Maybe a long shot for Rashawn Slater. I kind of thought they would. Or I think there was also a little bit of talk about one of the Alabama receivers here. I'm thinking going back to both what Joe Judge does and what Dave Gettleman does, and it's, I think, a versatile, athletic, blitzing guy, basically linebacker who can be used on the edge, who started out as an edge rusher. I think that would be a very good pick for them, given what their defensive mentality is. I think Joe Judge with Patrick Graham can get a lot out of him. We are now at 12. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah to the Broncos. 13, the Chargers take Jalen Waddle. 14, the Vikings take Kwity Paye. I think if Kwity Paye is there at 14, which he might not be, because again, now there's a little bit of smoke that an edge rusher is going earlier than this. And I think Kwity Paye is the first edge rusher off the board, although there seems to be a little bit of change in that market. I still think Kwity Paye is the first one. I would be very shocked. I just can't see a team being overeager to draft an edge rusher that has concussion issues. I get it. I like Jalen Phillips as well, but I don't know where he goes. It would have to be a team that has the ability to take that risk. 15 Patriots were originally having this pick. It's now the Lions. It's Devontae Smith. 16 Zaven Collins to the Cardinals. There's no corners there that they like. I could easily see them going Greg Newsome here, but it sounds like the league is a little bit not as sold on Greg Newsome because of the hammy. Not the hammy, just soft tissue injuries. He had groins and stuff like that. We all have groins, but he's had not great groins. Not Great Groins, by the way, is the name of my sponsor. This is not a sponsored video. So what do we got? We got Zaven Collins at the Cardinals, Tevin Jenkins to the Raiders, Jason Owe to the Dolphins. I do think they go edge rusher. It could be Jalen Phillips here. I would not be shocked. They seem to the two things the Dolphins seem to not stray away from are injury concerns and athletic upside. Both of those guys, Jason Owe, Jalen Phillips, have risked them different types of risk. I think both would be options here at 18. I went Jason Owe because I think you're going to have Flores think that he can get the most out of him. Kind of reminds me of Austin Jackson last year. So, like, why they made that pick, the process behind the pick kind of deal. So, 19 overall, Washington football team, Jamin Davis, linebacker. 20 overall, Bears take Mac Jones. 21, Colts take Elijah Vera Tucker. Now, you might be like, wait, Walter, I thought Elijah Vera Tucker's a guard. Yeah, but you know what? There was a guy named Braden Smith, who they took a couple of years ago. I think it was like the second or third round. Everybody thought he was going to be a guard in the NFL too. And then they said, nay, no, you play right tackle. And he's been their right tackle. He's been a very good right tackle for them from the get-go. So I think that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to take Elijah Vera Tucker and we're going to say, you know what? Fail at tackle first, and if you don't fail at tackle, you could be tackle. And if you fail at tackle, we'll put you at right guard, and we'll figure out the tackle situation later. Maybe we'll even draft another guy, maybe a high upside dude. So, Elijah Vera Tucker to the Colts. 22, Elijah Moore to the Titans. 23, the Jets take Gregory Rousseau out of Florida. I don't know if he's going first round, you guys. It was hard because once you get to this point, it's either, if you look at edge rusher, which I do think the Jets would look at, you would probably be looking at Carlos Basham, I would like here, Gregory Rousseau, Azeez Ojulari apparently has a knee issue, so some teams are a little worried about that, and teams who can't get like the extra medical checks, they're not going to want to take a guy with a knee issue. 24, Steelers take Najee Harris. 25, the Jaguars take Christian Barmore. 26, Browns take Greg Newsome. I think they would be worried about the hammies, and they'd probably be worried about Caleb Farley's back, and they'd probably be worried about everybody at this juncture. But they do need a corner, and Newsome's a very good corner with very oily hips. They also have the upside of having, Greedy Williams there as well, Denzel Ward. All three of those guys have injury issues, so you might run, you might be covering your bases, or you might be running out of luck eventually. So, Newsome to the Browns at 26. 27, Trevon Moehrig to the Ravens. 28, Eric Stokes to the Saints, because they do need a corner. There's been a lot of talk about them potentially trading up to get a corner. I think his athletic profile, a lot of teams are going to like. Saints are going to go after the Georgia boy. Packers take Kadarius Toney. Bills take Travis Etienne. Ravens take Alex Leatherwood. Bucks take Joe Tryon. There's been a lot of talk about Joe Tryon going in the first round. This is not my choices. This is a predictive mock draft, folks. And thus concludes my predictive top 32 mock draft. Less than 10 minutes. So there you go. Gotta be the quickest video I've done this year that wasn't on a TikTok. Follow the podcast at Draftvice on Twitter, at Draftvice_football on Instagram. Tune in tonight. This channel, This channel, we are doing it live, not just live on the live stream. No, live as in live studio bar audience, right? Maybe if people show up, if people went, you know what, we'll go ahead and show out for this thing. But yes, live studio bar audience at the Spot in Nanuet, New York, the heart of New York, if you will. And you can follow the podcast at Draftvice on Twitter, at Draftvice_football on Instagram. You can follow me at BROJO. Death is in the end of life. Punch like a delicious drink you drank in the summer. And have fun today, folks.
We're on to
When I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
about the past and about the future.